80,000 visas revoked. Inside America's new immigration crackdown. Welcome to American Insider. Today we're diving into a major shift shaking up the U.S. immigration system, a sweeping crackdown that's already led to tens of thousands of visas being revoked for students, workers, and visitors. Behind the headlines lies a growing web of digital surveillance, new enforcement powers, and controversial rules that could affect anyone living in or hoping to enter the United States. In this report, we'll uncover how the government's new visa review system works, why so many people are suddenly losing their legal status, and what it means for America's reputation as a global destination for talent and innovation. Later, we'll expose something even more alarming: the digital border inside America's new social media surveillance system, where what you post online could determine whether you stay or go. Stay tuned until the end to understand how these changes could impact millions around the world and what can be done before it's too late. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss our deep dive reports on stories that matter. Let's get started. The United States is experiencing one of the largest visa revocation waves in modern history. According to official data from the U.S. State Department, nearly 80,000 non-immigrant visas have been revoked since the start of 2025. These include work, student, and visitor visas, the lifelines that allow millions of people to study, work, and contribute to the U.S. economy. The government calls it a necessary national security measure. Critics call it a purge, a sweeping effort that punishes tens of thousands for minor infractions or loosely defined public safety concerns. About 16,000 revocations were linked to driving under the influence, 12,000 to assault, and 8,000 to theft. But behind the numbers lies a bigger question. Why now? And what message does it send to international students and skilled workers who once saw America as the land of opportunity? The policy shift behind the numbers. The shift began quietly in January 2025. Within days of taking office, President Trump signed executive orders tightening immigration enforcement. One directive instructed the Department of State and the Department of Homeland Security to review and revoke visas of foreign nationals deemed inconsistent with U.S. security interests. Previously, visa revocations were rare and handled manually after serious convictions or proven fraud. Now they are triggered automatically through data sharing between Immigration and Customs Enforcement, Customs and Border Protection, and the State Department. If a visa holder is arrested, charged, or appears in a police database anywhere in the country, their visa can be revoked automatically, often before a court rules on their case. Officials describe it as risk-based monitoring, but for visa holders, it feels like living under constant scrutiny. Even a single mistake or misunderstanding can lead to an abrupt email declaring their status invalid. Who's being affected? Among the 80,000 cancellations, students and workers are hit hardest. They power the very sectors that drive the American economy: technology, healthcare, construction, research, and advanced manufacturing. Student visas. More than 6,000 student visas have been revoked this year. While some cases involve overstays or unauthorized work, many result from expanded social media vetting. Since April 2025, the Department of Homeland Security has required applicants to list all social media handles used in the past 5 years. Consular officers can revoke visas if posts appear to threaten public order or contradict U.S. policy. Free speech advocates warn this poses serious risks to privacy and expression. For international students, it has created a climate of fear. Years of study can vanish overnight because of one misunderstood post. Work visas. In the workplace, revocations tie into the administration's renewed Hire American campaign. Sectors like technology, engineering, and healthcare depend heavily on H-1B and L-1 visa holders. When those visas are canceled, the worker must stop immediately and leave the country. One major tech firm lost a lead data engineer mid-project after a dismissed traffic citation triggered a visa revocation. The company spent months and thousands of dollars trying to fill the gap. Business leaders argue that such disruptions weaken U.S. innovation. Visitor visas. Visitor visas make up a smaller share, but reveal how deeply automated enforcement has become. A simple accusation of theft or paperwork error can now cancel a visa nationwide, long before any trial concludes. How the process works. Under federal law, consular officers can revoke visas at any time if new information suggests ineligibility. Once this required manual review, but now automated alerts from law enforcement databases feed directly into the State Department's system. Once flagged, a notice is automatically generated. Many only discover their visa is voided when they attempt to re-enter the U.S. Others receive abrupt emails referencing Section 221I of the Immigration and Nationality Act. Immigration attorneys warn that visa holders have little recourse. Because a visa is a privilege, not a right, there is no formal appeal. Even if charges are dismissed, the revocation stands, complicating future travel or work applications. Legal and public pushback. Universities, civil rights groups, and business organizations are demanding answers. The American Council on Education says the crackdown threatens academic exchange, while the U.S. Chamber of Commerce warns that blanket revocations undermine competitiveness. A coalition of immigration lawyers has filed formal requests for transparency on how online behavior is evaluated. They argue that vague criteria allow for inconsistent or politically motivated decisions. The White House maintains the measures are essential for public safety, but even administration insiders admit that the system occasionally sweeps up innocent people, victims of clerical errors or algorithmic flags that no human reviews in time. The economic and global fallout. The consequences stretch beyond individual lives. International students contribute over $40 billion to the U.S. economy each year. As uncertainty grows, many are redirecting their applications to Canada and Europe. Universities in Ontario and British Columbia report record increases in international enrollments. Industries reliant on global talent, from hospitals and laboratories to construction firms and engineering consultancies, are feeling the strain. Some U.S. companies have expanded offices in Canada to keep affected employees. What began as a domestic enforcement policy is reshaping the continent's labor market. Real lives behind the statistics. A researcher from India lost her visa after a routine traffic stop produced a data error. She was never charged, but her academic project was canceled. A Canadian developer's visa was revoked when his company's foreign office faced compliance scrutiny unrelated to him. A Kenyan graduate student erased her entire online history after classmates were deported for old posts. Immigration law offices nationwide report sharp spikes in emergency consultations. The fear of losing status now defines daily life for many foreign students and professionals. International response. Foreign governments are pressing Washington for clarity. India has requested consistency in visa reviews. The Philippines and Mexico have established helplines for citizens caught in sudden cancellations. The European Union has called for transparency in how public safety risks are defined. Canada's immigration minister emphasized that his country remains a stable destination for international students and skilled workers, an implicit contrast to Washington's unpredictability. Thanks for staying with us this far. We appreciate your time and hope you're finding this information valuable. The digital border, inside America's new social media surveillance system. Behind the 80,000 revocations lies a technological transformation in immigration enforcement. The United States has built what experts call a digital border, a system that monitors foreign nationals long after they arrive. Every visa applicant must list social media accounts from the past 5 years. These are fed into the Department of Homeland Security's centralized monitoring network, which cross-references online activity with law enforcement alerts. Algorithms flag posts matching predefined risk patterns. A flag post can trigger a suitability alert on a person's file. Civil liberties experts warn that sarcasm, slang, or cultural references often get misinterpreted as threats. Even a casual joke about bombing an exam could raise red flags. Internal audits already found hundreds of false alerts. Universities now brief foreign students on digital hygiene, advising them to avoid controversial topics online. Employers urge workers to keep personal and professional profiles separate. Supporters claim this monitoring prevents extremist threats. Critics say it creates a culture of silence. For millions of visa holders, the line between online freedom and immigration status has vanished. What can be done? Experts agree that reform must balance security with fairness. Students are advised to maintain direct contact with university officials and keep records updated. Workers should retain employment documents and avoid unnecessary travel until policies stabilize. Major corporations and universities are calling for written notice before revocations and clearer criteria to prevent wrongful cancellations. In Washington, lawmakers from both parties are discussing amendments to require a 30-day response period before visa revocation, except in national security emergencies. Whether those reforms advance remains uncertain, but the demand for change is growing louder. The bigger picture. This wave of cancellations sends a powerful global message. America's immigration system has become unpredictable. Competing nations are already benefiting as top students and professionals look elsewhere for stability. Domestically, immigration agencies face mounting pressure. Every revocation adds to the workload of enforcement officers and already overburdened courts. Critics say the system now targets low-risk individuals instead of genuine security threats. The human toll. Beyond statistics, this crisis is deeply personal. Students suffer anxiety, fearing a simple mistake could end their dreams. Workers live with constant uncertainty. Families are split overnight. Counselors at major universities report rising cases of stress and depression among international students. Years of education and contribution can disappear with one automated decision. Reapplying becomes nearly impossible as past revocations follow applicants for life. The road ahead. Legal challenges are mounting. Advocacy groups argue that automatic revocations violate due process protections. They're pushing for independent review boards and greater transparency in how digital monitoring is used. The United States has always balanced security with openness. Whether that balance survives the digital age is the question now confronting policymakers, employers, and millions of immigrants. What's happening today isn't just about visas, it's about values. Technology, politics, and immigration have merged into a single system deciding who belongs. Whether this is security or overreach, one thing is clear. The rules have changed for everyone. If you found this report informative, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more verified investigations into the stories shaping our world. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.